I got a little bit like uncomfortable because I was just so used to just feeling safe. I felt so safe with them in the ring, and I
Ahead of the Elimination Chamber in Toronto, the EST of WWE, Bianca Belair. How's it going?
it's going good. How are you?
If this earpiece will stay on over my ear and not fall off to the side, I'll be great. Thank you for doing this today.
Thank you for having me.
All right, now before we talk about the chamber and Bianca, I would like to start here. Is Montez in the room by chance? Because I know I heard a voice.
He's where I am, he always is.
All right. Are the Usos aware that you thought that they weren't twins?
Honestly, I don't know. But I had just gotten to the main roster. He was about to have me. He embarrassed me. I was in the locker room and I'm like, yo, I cannot believe that the Usos are not twins. And all the girls looking at me like, what are you talking about? I'm like, yeah, they're not twins. Meanwhile, this man done told me that they're not twins, and yeah, they're definitely twins. But I don't know if they've heard that story. But I really believed it.
All right. Well, hopefully now with like the haircut and everything, it's a little easier to distinguish.
Yeah, I can
Uh,
definitely tell them apart.
is Montez's toxic trait that he drinks a cup of straight raw egg whites every morning?
Yo, that's such a toxic trait to me. Actually, but you know what? I actually tried it,
Hmm.
and it's not that bad.
Have you
It's not that.
adopted it though?
No, but you know what? I would rather drink the egg whites than eat boiled eggs at this point. I'm so over boiled eggs that when I was prepping for like my fitness competition or for Mania last year, I was eating so many boiled eggs that I don't think that I could eat another one in my life. I would rather drink a gallon of egg white. Yeah.
Have you ever found yourself desperate enough to get one of those like bags of hard-boiled eggs from the gas station, or are you a
Yes.
sane human? Oh no.
That I've gotten the listen gas station when you're on the road like for live events and you're driving at 2 o'clock in the morning and you're hungry and you only can eat your protein. You get the little bag, it has like the two little boiled eggs in it, or the early morning airport like 6 a.m. flights, and the only healthy protein is a little bag with the two little boiled eggs. Yeah, except for one time I bought it and I left it in my purse and I fell asleep on the plane without eating it. And then, like 3 days later, it was still in my purse because I forgot that it was
Oh.
there. It was bad. Yeah.
Well, maybe give it to Montez. Maybe he's crazy enough to do it. Um, the Elimination Chamber is such an interesting premium live event to me, especially now that it's so woven into the road to WrestleMania, because
Yeah.
I feel like when we come to WrestleMania season, the fans really make their voices feel heard. And when you're
Mhm.
in the Royal Rumble, you know, you got 29 other superstars to contend with. But I'm wondering, for you, and I mean, for you specifically, what sort of opportunities does the chamber present outside of obviously the title shot to really sort of like make your stamp and show people what you got, especially ahead of WrestleMania?
I feel like the chamber is just another match to really showcase yourself and showcase, honestly, a lot of grit. Really show a different side of who you are because Royal Rumble is special within itself, right? It's like you said, 30 women from the past, the present, the future, and it's really just you're just trying to win so you can point to that WrestleMania sign and solidify your path to WrestleMania. I feel like Chamber, it's more of a desperate final desperation type of match because it's really the only other match, like you said, that's on the road to WrestleMania that solidifies like your path to WrestleMania. It's like your last opportunity before you start having to figure out another way to get to WrestleMania. So everybody that's in that match, they're just fighting tooth and nail to get to WrestleMania. So you're showing a different side of you. Sometimes things go out the window. You have to do what you have to do to win. It's a chamber. It's a very intimidating match. It's one of the most intimidating matches that I've been a part of, and I've won the Elimination Chamber match before. I know what it takes to win that match. All the rules kind of go out of the window. So, I just think it's the opportunity to really show your grit, show how bad you really want it, because it's kind of your last, really chance to solidify your path to WrestleMania before you have to start trying to figure out another way to do it.
How do you sort of play the balancing act of, doing your part as part of this professional wrestling dance, but also making sure you're giving yourself the best chance to stand out and stand apart?
I think that it is a balance, even though I hate the word balance because I don't think that there's such a thing, especially in the world of professional wrestling, because there's not one day that looks the same. There's not one situation that looks the
Mm,
same. But I think that for me specifically, I just try to take the ego out of a lot of
mm.
things, and always try to look at the bigger picture, look at the perspective. For me, I just to make sure that I stand out, I always try to do things that nobody else is doing, whether that's, my look, whether that's my move set, whether that's, how I'm going to carry myself in a certain storyline. But in the end, the goal is to really, elevate this division, elevate, have this division evolve, at the same time, if you're in the match, sometimes one person might go over in that match, they might win, but in the process, you might get yourself over. So
Mm-hmm.
there's a
Mm-hmm.
balance in all of it. So of course you want to make sure that you stand out, but if you're all ego, listen, we all need each other. So we're all helping each other stand out, and in the process, while you're getting somebody else over, you can get yourself over in the same process.
You were drafted number one in the 2024 draft. And while I don't mean to diminish the tag team title specifically, I just feel like, personally, and maybe you and others disagree, I feel like you haven't been given as much to like really sink your teeth into as I would expect when the WWE says, hey, like this is our top person, this is the star of SmackDown. How do you feel about sort of how the last 10 months have gone for you?
Yeah, I mean, I feel like for me, when the tag team was presented, I feel like I was in a space where I was excited for it because I feel like I have actually, if you look at my time on the main roster, I've actually been champion more than I haven't been champion. And I feel like I've been able to accomplish so much as a singles competitor. And I felt like there were so many women too that played a part in my success as a singles competitor. Whether it
Mm,
was Sasha Banks, Becky Lynch, Asuka, Bailey. And so I really saw, an opportunity to really like showcase myself in a different way and maybe play a different role where it was now where I can do for others what was done for me, and I can elevate this tag team division. And I feel like I was in a space of like being in a tag team is so you have to be so selfless for one.
mm,
Like you want to make sure that you stand out, but you also sharing the spotlight with your tag team partner, but you're also sharing the spotlight with the two other women that are across from you in the tag team. So it was a different um realm for me to be in that I felt like I was ready to be in. I was excited about it, and I poured my heart and soul into this tag team, and it's a lot less pressure too. Like I feel like I could
yeah,
have a little bit more fun. It's like
yeah.
you can share the work with your partner, and you can it's just you get to it's a lot less pressure, and it was something that wasn't just about me. And so I was excited to do it, and it felt like it was something that I could add on the notch of things that I've accomplished of like helping elevate this tag team division. Um, and so I've I'm okay. Like I'm okay with it. And I know eventually, like I will go back to the singles picture eventually, but I feel like it was a nice break for me. And sometimes you don't have to. It doesn't always have to be about you for you to uh, be proud of it. And I'm very proud of the work that I've put in, the work that I've done in this tag team division.
As you should be. And I think it's, every great singles champion that I can think of has multiple tag team title reigns under their belts. The Cenas, the Rhodeses, the Biancas.
Yeah. And I feel like I've learned so much this year. It's just evolved me even more as a competitor, as a character, as a human being. I've learned so much. I've just grown. I learned so much last year as my when it comes to myself, when it comes to wrestling, when it comes to just being a different role. I feel like I've learned more this past year than I've learned in just in a different way. I've learned more in a different way this past year than I've learned since I've been on the main roster.
What what was the biggest learning lesson, and do you remember sort of like the spark that brought you that knowledge?
Oh, I just think that it's just I don't know if there's a specific spark, but I think that like I said, I've just learned that it doesn't always have to be about you for you to accomplish something. I've learned that you have to take the ego out of things when it comes to WWE. I learned the importance of uh, that the division needs to evolve. That's the whole point of all of this. I've learned a lot. But that's really the main thing that I've learned. And then especially now tagging with Naomi, I've learned so much from Naomi inside the ring, outside the ring. I've learned how to be a better uh partner. I've learned how to be like even perspective wise, even her helping me in the ring with moves and just I've just learned a lot.
You come off as a very collaborative person, but you made a very good point about how much success and load you were sort of trusted with almost from the get go. Was
Yeah.
there a time where it's hard for Bianca to welcome the new opportunities that might look a little different than the opportunities she was first given?
Um, no, not really, because when I first came onto the main roster, I was thrown into things very quickly. I mean, I was main eventing WrestleMania, win the Royal Rumble, main eventing WrestleMania. Um, my very first year that I was here. But what I will say, I was used to being led. I will say that because my very first WrestleMania, I'm in the ring with a vet like Sasha, and then I'm then in the ring with someone like Becky Lynch, and then Bailey, and then Asuka. So I feel like I wanted to soak up and absorb as much as I could from them, and I put myself in that position to be able to do that. And so I feel like I remember when I became Raw Men's Champion, and all of a sudden I was like, oh, okay, I'm not in the ring with them anymore. I have to kind of
Oh.
lead. And I got a little bit like uncomfortable. Because I was just so used to just feeling safe. I felt so safe with them in the ring. And not in the sense of like physical wise, but just like I know we're gonna have a great match. Like I have great chemistry with them. They're leading me. I'm good. And so the only part that I would say I would kind of was kind of uncomfortable was I was now in this new role where I'm now looked at as like the vet a little bit, but I still felt like I'm still learning. It was just a different role for me.
How excited are you to sort of sink your teeth into this Jade Cargill injury storyline? Because I feel like the pace is picking up, and I feel like it's not only different, but it's something sort of layered that you and Naomi and Jade and Liv can start sort of working through.
I mean, listen, we've been asking for an update for months and haven't really gotten anywhere. And at first it was hard because I felt like I had given so much to the tag team division, and then with Jade being taken out and us trying to figure out who it was, and then the tag team titles were up in the air. Was I gonna have to relinquish these titles? And that was the last thing I wanted to do because I felt like all this hard work that's been put in over the past year, is it just for nothing? And like we can't just let that go. So Naomi steps in, and now we're finally getting an update, and to us, like we're just like it's the proof is in the pudding. The proof is there. We see Liv and Raquel literally walking from the same parking lot where Jade was taken out. So I feel like things are amping up now. It's about to get interesting. We're standing on business, and we're going after Liv and Raquel. And we're just going to stand on business when it comes to that. So I feel like things are amping up a little bit, and we're going to see where it takes us.
What does Bianca want to accomplish most in 2025?
Most in 2025. Well, I'm going to Elimination Chamber. So I want to win the Elimination Chamber. I've won it before, so I want to be the win it again. And I want to go to WrestleMania. I want to face Rhea Ripley. That's been a dream match of mine. I think that's a dream match for the fans as well. And because I just feel like that's just something that I've always wanted to do. Rhea Ripley and I have kind of been on the opposite sides of the mountaintop, racing to the top. You know, we were on the cover of the video game last year. Like we've been able to accomplish a lot. And in my mind, it's like the perception is that Rhea Ripley, she's a champion, she's the best. But in my reality, I'm the best. So I think that there's a great competition there that can happen. And so I want to win the Elimination Chamber. I want to go face Rhea Ripley. I want to continue my undefeated streak at WrestleMania. It'll be number 5. So I want to continue to be undefeated. Also would love to defend our tag team titles at WrestleMania. I would love to wrestle two
There's
nights
two
at
nights.
WrestleMania.
There you go.
And walk out with 2 titles. That's what I want to do for 2025.
We're gonna have to start talking about a new streak at WrestleMania soon at this rate if you start racking them up any longer.
Yeah.
Shout out to Taker. We got 5 minutes left on the clock, so I'm just gonna run you through some random rapid fire. We'll see what we get to. Okay?
I'm really bad at Rendered Rapid.
It's okay.
Because I feel like
It'll
I have
all
to
be stuff
explain.
about you. Don't worry. Don't. I've seen. I got you. I got you.
Oh,
First,
so I have to explain it. But go ahead, I'll try my
yeah, you
best.
got it. You got it. What is the hardest another superstar has ever yanked on your hair in a match?
Tiffany Stratton,
Mm,
Royal Rumble last year, and I was definitely bald headed in the middle of my head for like three
I was
months.
gonna say, have you recovered yet? I saw you talk to Cody about it.
No, I mean it's trying to come back, but it's very thin in the middle.
I want to know. You know, Cody told you he has like a text chain with a bunch of balding superstars, and he's convinced them that LA Knight is wearing a wig. I need to know who's on this text chain. I'm
I
so
don't know.
curious.
I have to try to do an investigation on that.
Please do. I literally wrote like started a new Google Doc today specifically so I wouldn't forget to ask Cody that next time I see him. Like you and Montez, my wife and I are up on game, and so we got donuts for our wedding instead of a cake because nobody eats the wedding cake. For
They
the people
don't.
who are still stuck in the past, can you please tell them why they need to make the switch to donuts?
You need to make the switch of donuts. Nobody eats the wedding cake. And for one, if you go to a bakery and you tell them you want a cake, they'll give it to you for, the regular price. As soon as you say wedding, oh, they're tripling the price. Then nobody's eating it. And most cakes that look really nice, they don't taste very well. Okay. So people just want a dessert that they can enjoy and switch to the donuts. Everybody likes donuts. You got to switch to the donuts. And I feel like people, they just if you when you leave a wedding, you leave remembering what the food tastes like. You remember
Mm-hmm.
how much fun you had. You don't
Mm-hmm.
remember what the
Mm-hmm.
cake looked like. You don't remember the
Mm-hmm.
names that are on the napkins. You don't need to put your name. Nobody says, "Oh, this is a nice." You know what was nice from that wedding? Those napkins that had their name on it. Nobody cares. Do what you want to do and what you're going to enjoy and what people are going to enjoy.
Okay.
Donuts all the way.
Best. I couldn't have done it better myself. Thank you for that. Um, what is one day in your life that if you could relive, you would?
Oh, one day in my life, if I could relive, I would. I would say. All the moments I'm thinking of involve my husband.
That's okay. What's wrong with that? Why?
No,
Whoa.
no, 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 because I can't pick one. Like it's like the day that I met him, and then there's the day he proposed, then there's the day we moved in together, it's our wedding day, then there's WrestleMania when I made even at WrestleMania because I had this big, huge moment and my parents were there, and then he ran out and he was in the ring. So really just any day with my husband. Yeah.
I love that. I will ask Montez the same question, and we'll make sure that he answers just as kindly. Who actually came up with the dill pickle and the orange popcorn powder combination?
Oof, it was somebody from high school
Like a friend.
because it was somebody from high school. It was something that we used to do in high school. Because I remember it was somebody in high school that showed it to me. We were at a basketball game and they sold popcorn and they sold dill pickles in a jar. And it's probably a cheerleader. It might have been a cheerleader named Medeja.
Shout out to
It
Madeja.
might have been Medeja who did it. It was a cheerleader. And she got the popcorn orange salt and the dill pickle. I'm like, what are you doing? And she's like, girl, this is good. And I tried it and I was like, ooh, that's salty, but it is good. And it just stuck with us. This is what we always did in high school.
Shout out to Madeja. Hey, speaking of cheerleaders, I saw you do the "Bring It On" thing with Naomi. If I ask you a Bring It On question, is this going to be like over your head, or you got this?
No, I'll have it. It's
Okay,
I love Bring It On. I just haven't seen the actual full movie in a very long time, but I
that's
love
fine.
Bring It
Easy. I
On.
listen. You know more than I do. I'll keep it simple. Team Toros or Team Clovers?
Clovers. That's what I dressed up as. Actually, my high school, when I was a cheerleader, we cheered like the Clovers. So we really weren't a cheerleading team. We were a step team. The Clovers actually did stunts though, but Team Clovers all day, every day.
Hey, look at that. Why did I even doubt you? I'm so sorry. I should have known better. Are you aware there are 6 direct-to-video sequels of Bring It On?
No,
I just learned
no,
this today. The last one came out 3 years ago, and it's a slasher.
no. I had no idea.
None of the
No,
original cast are in any of them. I
no. I know there was Bring It On, then there was like a sequel to that, then there was like a parody kind of Bring It On. And I
Apparently,
haven't
it's
really,
alive and strong.
so I know maybe like three, six. Well, that shows you how big Bring It On is.
I know, and a slash and a horror movie at this rate. All right, Bianca, I gotta let you go. Thank you so much for your time today, guys. Subscribe, tap the bell, blah blah blah. More importantly, check out the Elimination Chamber in Toronto on March 1st. Bianca Belair punching her ticket maybe to 2 nights back to back at WrestleMania 41. Bianca, if there's anything you want to tell the people, I'll let you have the last word.
No, just tune into Elimination Chamber. Watch us throw it down. It's the last chance to get to WrestleMania for a title opportunity. I'm going to give it all that I got. I'm going to be the strongest, the fastest, the roughest, the toughest, the quickest, the greatest, the best. So I can point to that WrestleMania sign and go and face Rhea Ripley at WrestleMania.